Let's have a quick look at LLaMatic. LLMatic is an open source project mainly written in TypeScript that allows you to run large language models locally with an OpenAI compatible API. By default, it uses llama-node with a llama CPP backend to run the models locally. However, it's designed to be extensible. That means you can create your own adapters to load LLMs, and LLmatic will provide an OpenAI compatible API on top of those adapters. To install LLmatic, you need to be on a Unix-based operating system. Windows users can use WSL, and you need to have Node.js version 18.16 or higher installed. I'm going to show you how to install LLmatic. We'll then download a model, start the server, and connect Chatbot UI, which is a ChatGPT-like web interface, to it. The recommended way of using LLmatic is to create a node project and install the package as a dependency. Here I have already created a directory on my desktop. Let's create a package.json file in there. npm init-y and npm add llmatic. Once installed, you can run npx llmatic config, and this command helps you download a model file, and later we can use it to generate a config file for the default adapter. With the default adapter, you can use any model that's compatible with llama-node and its llama CPP backend. At the time of this recording, llama-based model files with GGML2 format are compatible with the default adapter. Here, I'm going to download Koala 13b GGML published by the bloke from Hugging Face. When I open Files and Versions, notice that all of the models listed here are version 3. Until llama-node updates its version of llama CPP, I have to go back in time and download one of the older versions. Of course, if you're impatient, you can try to update the version of llama CPP in llama-node manually and create your own adapter based on your own fork. Anyways, let's copy this URL, go back to terminal, select download a model, paste in the link. The default name is good enough, and when I press enter, it doesn't do anything because I have already downloaded this file. If I look at the contents of the models directory, there's one file in there, and if I run llmatic config and select generate a config file, it asks me which file I want to use, and there's only one file as I showed, so I'll move forward with that, and it generates a config file for me. Now, I can edit this file and adjust some of these values. One thing I want to do on my machine is to change the number of threads from 12 to 8, because I noticed that this model runs faster on my machine with 8 threads. Once that's done, I can start the server, and that's it. Now let's test if it works. Here in my Postman collection, I have a request for chat completions. Let's try this. It loads the model, and it generates a response. Now let's run Chatbot UI. The first step is to clone the repository and install the dependencies, which I've already done. Then we'll create a .env.local file. So I'll copy this block from the project's README file, LLmatic project's README file. Go back to my terminal, paste this in. And then for this particular model, for some reason, I have to explicitly instruct it to respond in plain text format. So I'll edit the system prompt as such, plain text format. And once that's done, I can run Chatbot UI with this command on port 3001, because port 3000 is already occupied by LLmatic server. Once this is up and running, I can open it in my browser, and let's see if it works. I'm going to ask it to advertise my project. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.